Uh, with with that, I'll make an introduction. So, hi everybody. I'm Pete Ferrara with Homebridge Financial. Some of you may have been invited by other loan officers, part of our Homebridge team. I appreciate your patience and everybody trying to log on here. Um, so we have invited Peter Lustig, who is with Professional Home Inspections of New Jersey. He is a consultant. He does both HUD consulting for the FHA renovation loans as well as HomeStyle renovations, which I'll have him kind of talk about. If there's some lender specific questions, you guys can direct them to me. Anything construction oriented or the process, Peter will be happy to answer. So with no further ado, I'll let Peter take over here and start the presentation. Please feel free to use the chat box and we'll answer as many questions as you can here live. Thank you. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah. Hey, thanks everyone. Thanks, Pete. Thanks for everyone's patience with the technology issues. I think we got it resolved and I think we're on our way. So my name is Peter Lustig. As Pete said, I am an FHA 203K consultant, the owner of Professional Home Inspections. I'll go through in a minute who we are and what our role is a little bit. But today I would like to share with you how you can expand your inventory using renovation loans. We'll show you how your buyers can get the house that they want and equity. The reason that we are focused on this is, everyone has no inventory, low inventory, challenged inventory. Well, we're going to show you how you expand your lack of inventory by using renovation loans. So I'll be clicking through about approximately 20 slides. On the right side of my screen is a chat box. So if you want to ask questions, feel free. As Pete said before, generally, if they are construction-related questions, I'm happy to answer them. If they are lender loan type questions, that would be Pete's role in this process. So I guess I'll get started. What I'd like to do is click on the next slide. So renovation loans are buy and upgrade loans. There are conventional loans, which tends to be mostly Fannie Mae HomeStyle, and then there is FHA 203K. They have the same qualifying criteria as standard conventional and FHA loans. Appraisals are based on future as completed value, and you'll see right that little dash there under 203K, you can go to 110%. Of the value. So if you get a $400,000 appraisal and all of a sudden you're looking for more, well, you automatically are entitled to receive a $440,000 appraisal. At closing, the repair monies are escrowed with the lender and released as the work is completed. And then we become the inspectors. But I'll take you through that in a second on the next slide. So as I said before, we are FHA 203K and HomeStyle consultants. We have two roles. Pre-closing, we work together with borrower, contractor, and the lender to establish the renovation budget. Post-closing, we perform the inspections to release the funds to borrower and contractor as the work is completed. In 2022, as a firm, we will complete approximately 700 new projects, 1,450 draw releases. We currently have approximately 400 active sites. We have national coverage for HomeStyle and 15 states, about 75% of the nation's rental market in 203K. And just, I know since I'm presenting in Chicago, we are definitely strong in Chicago. We have 13 licensed consultants and home inspectors. We have 2 actually in Chicago and 6 full-time experienced administrative staff who do nothing but focus on renovation financing. So I'd like to think we're kind of good at this stuff. This, if you take nothing else away from this presentation, is the real meat of the presentation, right? This is what I sometimes tell people, if you can, you might want to take a screenshot of this, right? So this is where I demonstrate how you expand inventory using renovation loans. And it's real simple. right? Let's say that, and I'll use my mouse to point. I don't know if you can see, but hopefully you can, right? You'll see along the top, let's say you have two houses to show your client, two $625,000 houses. They don't need any upgrades. They're worth $625,000, but let's say they don't like any of those houses. Well, let me see if I can expand your inventory by showing houses that need work, right? You can take a $235,000 house, a $280,000 house, a $265,000, a $300,000, and a $289,000 house, right? And now if you take those smaller, older houses and you upgrade them, so let's say the first one, number 3, if you can buy it for $235,000, you upgrade it for $325,000, it's still worth $625,000. But guess what? The borrowers now have equity of $65,000, right? And I'll just take you through one more time just to make sure that I'm clear on it, because as I said, this is the heart of the presentation and the piece which will really help you understand how you can expand your inventory using renovation loans, right? So you have a $235,000 house, you upgrade it for $325,000. Now you have a $625,000 house, right? And the borrowers have equity of $65,000 because you've only spent $235,000 plus $325,000, right? It's still worth $625,000. They have $65,000 in equity. Not only that, but they get the house that they want. They're not buying someone else's kitchen. They're not buying someone else's bathroom. It's the colors are their colors, right? So this is really, really the key of the whole presentation, right? You can do this with renovation loans. And like I said before, we do this approximately 700 times a year. So I'm going to show you in the next couple of slides some examples of projects that we've completed. And then a little later on in the presentation, I'm going to show you some active listings in the Chicago area that qualify for this type of financing. And if you bear with me 2 seconds, I just got a note on my laptop that my battery is running low. So I'm just going to plug in my laptop so I don't all of a sudden run out of juice. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Hi, everyone. All right. So hang tight 2 seconds.
Yep.
The good stuff is coming. All right. He's back.
Yeah, I got the plug in the wall. No more technical issues, I promise. All right. So I'm going to go on to the next slide, right? And this will document an actual project that we completed this year. They purchased a house for $400,000. They upgraded it for $375,000. It appraised for $825,000. The buyers get equity of $50,000. Next slide, right? This one was a real good home run, right? They bought it for $375,000, and I promise you it's the same house, right? Someone said to me not so long ago that I should have taken a picture of the same fire hydrant as proof. Bad on me, but bought for $375,000, upgraded for $590,000. It appraised at about $1,050,000, $85,000 in borrower equity, and look at the nice house that they got. Let's see, next one, small little Cape, right? These are prominent in the area where we do a lot of business, right? They bought it for $350,000, upgraded for $275,000, and the upgrade was pop to top, right? So you'll see that they took off the roof and they made 2 bedrooms and another bathroom up top. It's now a 4-bed, 2-bath house. It appraised for $665,000. They get equity of $40,000. Okay, so this one bought it for $340,000, upgraded for $340,000, appraised for $725,000, and there's your equity, and they get the house that they want. Just to point out to you, you can see some of the similarities from top to bottom, right? You can see some of the same trees, and also someone pointed out to me not so long ago that the planter and the photos on the right are the same. So you can see it is definitely the same house. They just put a second floor on it. Let's see. So this one purchased for $375,000, upgraded for $390,000, appraised for $820,000. Nice house. Borrowers get the house that they want and equity. If they get the dream job in California, they walk away with $55,000. This one purchased $350,000, put a whole second floor on it, upgraded for $395,000, appraised for $780,000, equity of $35,000. All right, so those were some examples of recent successful projects that we've completed. Now I'm going to take you through some of the nitty gritty on it, right? So where are sources for properties requiring upgrades, right? Smaller houses in desirable areas. And you'll see in a minute, we've identified about 5 properties that are eligible for this type of program here in the Chicago area. We'll be showing you 5 listings that were live as of Friday. Smaller houses in desirable areas. So you're looking for the houses where they're smaller, older, but they're in a neighborhood of other houses that have already been expanded and fixed up. There are your comparables, right? If you have those types of neighborhoods, this is where this works really, really well. On the next age listings with estates and dated finishes, right? Everyone has that or had that listing that they couldn't sell, that just sat around forever. Well, you can buy it at the right price. You can now put a renovation loan on it. And again, you've upgraded the house and transacted the one that no one could sell. So right now we'll go through some current listings in your area that can be upgraded with a renovation loan. So I'll click my way through it. Property on North Glenview Avenue in Elmhurst, right? If you look to the right of the picture, your comparable is already sitting there. Right? You can see the big house on the right. So you upgrade to a 4-bed, 3-bath, right, for about $325,000. You can buy it for $235,000. And the future appraised value, according to our research, is $625,000. Equity of $65,000, and they get the house that they want. Now, one small caveat with these listings: if you go check these, they were live listings as of last Monday, and I think Friday or Monday when Melissa, my assistant, put these together. Given the market these days, acting fast is important because I guess everyone knows they don't always sit around for very long. Here we go, 1108 Sailor Street in Downers Grove. You can buy it for $280,000, make a 4-bed, 3-bath out of it for about $305,000. Future appraised value of $630,000. Borrower's equity of $45,000. 827 Lyford in Wheaton. This one I liked because you have some options with this one. It's already, I think if I recall correctly, it's already a 3-bed, 2-bath. And you could either expand this one up, or if the lot is big enough, you can expand this one out and keep it as a ranch. The options on this one are either or. It's a little more to do a foundation and expand out the back or the side than it is to go up, but options are available to do either. Right, so buy $265,000, upgrade for $290,000, property's worth $615,000, equity of $60,000. 1203 East Illinois in Wheaton. Buy it for $300,000, put a second floor on it and expand it a little for $300,000. Future appraised value of $650,000, equity of $50,000. And like I said before, right, all of these, the buyers get the house that they want. They not only get equity, but they get the finishes. They get the kitchen, the bathroom, the flooring, everything that they would put in it themselves without having to buy someone else's taste. Here's 2332 Westview in Des Plaines. Buy it for $289,000, upgrade it for $325,000, equity of $31,000 if it's worth $645,000. Again, nice small house, easy to do. So renovation loans are great for buyers familiar with home and garden television, right? We get a lot of clients who say, yeah, I don't have any apprehension about doing renovations. I've watched plenty of home and garden television. I have family and friends and neighbors who have done it. So yeah, we're good. First-time home buyers, people who are not finding the house that they want, right? And they like the neighborhood, they like the schools, but they just can't find that house. So these are options for, renovation is an option for those first-time home buyers. Buyers coming to the suburbs, this is not as much of a thing as it was recently, but when the cities were emptying out during COVID, we got a lot of buyers who were coming and saying, yeah, you know what, we want some more some more square footage. We need some grass between our toes. We're done with the city. We want to do a renovation. This last entry, I always like to focus on this a little bit, right? So given how competitive the marketplace is, we have seen a good number of brokers, real estate brokers, who use this program to become a specialist in the area, right? So if you're a broker casting around for a dedicated competitive advantage, right? This is a really, really good program to learn how to do. And the good thing about this is, out of all the lenders out there, I would say Homebridge is the #1 renovation lender in the nation. They do it better than anyone else. And between Homebridge and us, we've done enough of them that we can pretty much take you, guide you, teach you, and show you how to do it on a repeated basis. Okay, so a little more nitty gritty, right? How can we determine a budget before submitting an offer? A lot of times you'll see a smaller house that requires work, but you have no idea how much it's going to take to fix up. Well, we do that for free, right? A quick 15-minute phone call, show me a Zillow listing. I have 5 consultants who are standing by. They do this all the time, right? Within about 15 minutes, we'll provide you an accurate initial estimate as to how much it's going to cost to fix up the house to what you want to do.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah, sir.
I just want to interject there just 1 second. What's important, I think we talked about it earlier. That's excellent that you'll be able to determine your team as to how much it will take to put the whole project together in one large figure. So purchase plus renovation. I think the important thing for the realtor partners is to let's get some folks pre-approved for an overall dollar amount up front, so we know what we're working with in totality. Make sense?
Yep. Yeah, right. And we can supply that fixed piece, right? So, okay, I want to put a second floor on this house. It's going to cost me 150, or is it going to cost me 600? Well, you talk to us and we'll tell you within 10% accuracy approximately how much it's going to cost. Next question is, how can we find a contractor? We maintain a substantial referral list of design build contractors who have successfully completed 1 or more renovation loans. And I want to do a little aside here, right? It's our strong desire that the borrower finds their own contractor. If for some reason they can't find their own contractor, we are happy to do referrals. We will secure a hold harmless agreement to make sure that it's only a referral and that the borrower understands that they continue to be responsible for the contractor choice as well as management towards completion. But yeah, so if they can't find their own contractor, you can definitely give us a call and say, hey, this person's having trouble finding a reputable contractor. All right, so these are 4 easy steps to a fast closing, right? So I've seen these loans closed in 30 days, but it's such a fire drill and such a hurry up that I always like to say to people, 45 to 60 days is realistic, right? If I had to take the bulk of our portfolio, I would say at this point, people are closing them in 45 to 60 days. And if you have concerns with that, I would recommend you speak with Pete. He can give you more insight on that. But I think 45 to 60 is pretty much an accurate projection, right? There's no extra work for the realtor. And this this part is something that I get asked kind of frequently, right? We know how to do this. We can move quickly. We've done it before. We know how to find all the pain points right up front and make sure that those are dealt with and taken care of so that things can move quickly, right? And also just there's really no extra work for you as the realtor, right? So in terms of process, you want to make sure you pre-approve the borrower, right? Same as you do now, no different. Prior to offering, you can secure from us a free initial estimate, what I referred to before, right? So, okay, I know they're asking $250. I want to offer $235. How much is it going to cost for me to put an extra 800 square feet, 2 bedrooms and a bathroom up top? Well, I'll tell you that's probably about 175 to 200. But given the finishes, now you have a borrower who knows how much it can buy it for, how much it'll cost to fix. And then you as the realtor, together with Pete, if necessary, and us, can determine how much the property will be worth fixed up. Upon contract acceptance, we have, many of our contractors have design build capabilities, right? What they'll do is they'll do a set of design build drawings for the addition that they wish to do, if an addition is part of the plan. They'll do a zoning analysis to make sure that we're working within the current zoning parameters, that a zoning variance is not required. And then if necessary, they can receive contractor referrals. It takes about 5 days to get this done. We'll receive bids. We, as the consultants, will receive bids and the lender write-up to order the appraisal in about another 5 days. So usually about 10 days from contract signing, you're off our desks on your way to appraisal, right? I always, at the bottom, I always say here, while you're doing work with us in those 10 days, strongly encourage you that you work with HomeBridge in order to work on income and credit info. That way, no time is lost. You're working in parallel. Okay, so just a quick recap, right? Everybody wins. Realtors sell more houses by expanding their inventory. Borrowers get the house that they want and equity. And realtors get referrals from satisfied borrowers, right? In this part, I always like to spend a minute on this too. Have a bunch of realtors who are now the expert in the neighborhood, right? Hey, how'd they do that? You know what? Call so and so. Or you know what? I live in the new neighborhood in the new house that I bought and renovated and upgraded, having the barbecue, a whole bunch of people around. Hey, how'd you do this? Oh, call so and so. They know exactly how to get it done, right? So now you become the expert in the neighborhood. That goes back to the dedicated the advantage you get from being the dedicated person who knows how to do this regularly. Last thing, right? And I think we covered a bunch of it, right? How much does the house need? You can ask us for a free feasibility. We'll tell you. Contractor referrals, try to find your own. If you can't, we can give referrals, right? A home inspection. It's a real interesting thing. The majority of our clients do not retain us as home inspectors as well as consultants because it can be seen to be duplicative, right? We're doing the same inspection as consultants as we do home inspectors. The report that we issue is different. As home inspectors, we would issue a report that says the roof needs to be replaced, right? Go get an estimate from a qualified contractor. As consultants, we would say the roof needs to be replaced. Here's $14,000 to replace the roof. But again, you know, if you have questions on home inspection and how it might work with this, please reach out. And generally what I tell people is, you know, get in touch with your advisor, right? Be that an attorney, an agent, whoever they're relying on for advice, right? I don't like giving advice and telling people not to get a home inspection, but the majority of our clients do not retain us for both. Appraisal, just as a reminder, it's these loans are based on future appraised value. So it's the buy plus the fix. What happens is the appraiser takes the contract, let's say 200, adds our write-up to it, let's say 250, and then goes out and finds 3 comparables that are worth at least $450,000 or more. And just as a quick aside, if the current house is 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and you're building 4-bedroom, 2 bath, the future appraisal will be worth will be based on a 4-bedroom, 2 bath, newly renovated house. Last thing is zoning, right? I alluded to it a little bit before. You want to make sure that you only build within the current zoning capabilities of the site. And the reason is because you can close one of these loans without a zoning variance, but you don't want to show up at the building department, get the permits, and the building inspector says, yeah, that's nice. It's a pretty set of plans. Now go get a zoning variance. You don't want to be put in that position because, you know, they might not get the ability to do it for 6 months or maybe not the ability at all. So determining zoning, as of right zoning is what it's called, is actually quite important. And that's kind of the totality of my presentation. I know Pete has a last slide. You want to click the slide, or should I click it for you, Pete?
Yeah. Well, before we do that, there is a couple questions, and I want to add a couple items there that I'll have you address. So from Cassandra, the question was, does the referral list, assuming contractor referral, apply for properties within city limits? Because I think you were talking about people moving out the suburb, and I would say that answer is yes, correct?
Yeah, broken down by county and contractor specialty.
Perfect, great. And here's I'm glad she actually brought this up. Are rental loans good for city buyers, and can buyers use this for an owner occupant multi-unit? And I'm so glad you brought that up because multifamily is one of our favorite property types to deal with. And in this case, FHA allows and HomeStyle, so conventional, up to 4-unit properties. The neat thing with FHA is we can do this with 3.5% down, total. So understand that the purchase plus that big renovation, 3.5% down, plus a little bit in reserve. So don't hold me to that exact 3.5% down. You have to have some money left over, but it's a wonderful program to get that first-time home buyer into a multifamily property. We just need to make sure the income and asset piece works out. But I love doing multifamily for this. So Pete, what are your thoughts on the multifamily approach for renovation?
You know what? It's great because what you do is you get to use some of the rents to qualify the borrower, right? So you make it even more possible. Yeah.
Right. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, we showed lots of roof tear-offs and complete remodels. There's lots of I guess I would call it tired inventory out there that may not need an addition. I mean, there's established communities out there that I guess I would call similar to where I live, and my home was built in the 90s. And now I've had the wonderful pleasure of probably redoing almost the whole house now at this point to come up to the times, modernize the home. So I would say that you can also use this. You can compare to some newly remodeled homes, and you can put a buyer into an existing home, and you do that, what we would call a cosmetic upgrade. And it could be kitchens and baths. And we here at Homebridge, we have specific examples of, we have before and after pictures of kitchen remodels, bath remodels, flooring, trim, basement, anything you could think of, you can do with this program. Right, Pete?
Yeah, no, we do those all the time, right? I mean, these are all options, right? If you have, like I said, if you have an estate, if you have a tired house, right? These are all possibilities. Really, kind of what it comes down to is what's the spread between the purchase price and the future value of the house, right? We talked a little bit about pain points before, right? So right at the very beginning, if we have a conversation that says, okay, I could buy the house for 400, I want to fix it up for 450. If you as the realtor say, yeah, it's worth 450, 500 all day, there we have a viable transaction. If the answer comes back, well, it might only be worth 425, that might put a little bit of a caution sign up, right? We want to make sure we understand very quickly that it's going to be worth more, or as much or more, the buy and the fix.
And you're right. And I think in this current market, it's pretty much a no-brainer to do a renovation and get that instant equity versus previous times. There's another question here from Archie.
Yeah, Pete, can I chime in on one thing, right? So I completely concur in the rising values over the last year. That helps us out tremendously. But then there's also the addition of 110% on 203K. If you're looking for a 430 appraisal and you only get a 400 appraisal as 203K, you can bump right to 440 and you got your deal.
Right. Yeah. Good point. So in those cases where somebody really knows where they want to live, we could stretch that loan amount with FHA. There is another question here from Archie. Is the loan qualification based on the sales price or sales price plus rental amount? Yeah. And I think I was addressing that previously. It's all in one. We'll take the sales price plus the rental amount, right? So let's say it's 200 purchase plus 200 in renovation. That's 400 in totality. We would apply the down payment on that 400. So FHA, if it's 3.5% of the 400,000, conventional could be 5% down, 10, 15, 20, whatever the client's comfort level is there. There's also one more question here. We often get questions also about grants for first-time home buyers, but is there a such thing as a renovation grant? There is not. This is, we have to understand this is a specialty program that, it's not meant for that purpose, and primarily because those are typically housing agency loans, and we don't control the entire loan and the draw process and all that. So it needs to go to another lender, servicer. So those are limited. And going to the grant piece, let's talk a little bit about, I don't want to spend a lot of time about it because you can talk to the loan officer that referred you here about qualifying. I'll leave you with this. The loan qualification is exactly the same on an FHA 203K as it is on an FHA regular loan. It's just the little letter behind it. Everyone knows FHA 203K. The regular FHA loan is called a 203B. So they're all in the same family. Same with conventional. You qualify the same way. So having said that, you can get gift funds on an FHA loan, a regular FHA loan. You can get gift funds on an FHA 203K. So I would say somebody that's looking to get into something that there might be short on funds, get creative there on the asset piece, even without the grant. And here's what happens. They end up with instant equity, 30, 40, 50,000 of equity. Right, Pete?
Yeah. And the house that they want. I know I'm the broken record, right? Equity and the house you want. Equity and the house you want. I mean, we do it, right? It works. Please take advantage of it. You'll see.
So anybody have any other, questions for myself or Pete? I appreciate that. Cassandra was very helpful. We'll try to get a recording out to folks with this. We should be able to figure that out. Again, apologies on the technology piece, but it'll get better. The one thing, and I guess there's a last slide here, right, Pete?
That's right.
So most importantly, look, we'd like to bring it all back together here. Work with the loan officer that referred you to this webinar. We here at Homebridge, like Pete said, we are the #1 renovation lender in the country. Our group here, that's part of our team, does quite a bit of renovation lending. We're super experienced in it. It's not something that we haven't done before or seen before. So we're not bringing you this information, telling you it's available. We do it. We actually do what we say. And we're working with Peter Lustig here because his team is very qualified to help out and make it a smooth transaction. So we will offer any one-on-one training that any of you might have. If your offices would like a presentation, a lunch and learn, a breakfast, or another webinar, we would love to offer that as well. So anything else to add, Pete, that might be helpful?
No, let's sell some houses. Let's do some renovation loans. Come on. We're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this time, the only thing we hear is that we have, I think you told me the story and about somebody, and I think within our company that has 120 pre-approved buyers, but none of them have houses. So nope, I think right. This might be a fit here to put them into a home. Just, I would say that most realtor partners here would say that people know where they want to move to, at least generally, but they can't find the right house. Well, the right house, they're never going to find the right house unless it was brand new construction, right? So let's utilize this product to our advantage to create more business.
Let's get them the house they want, right? I mean, they really can get the house that they want.
Perfect. Well, I don't, let me see here, chat. I don't see any more questions here. I think we've answered those. Again, I appreciate everyone's time. I appreciate you getting on, Peter, and then we'll I think we're good. No more questions. So again, I appreciate everyone's time. We'd love to teach everyone a little more about the specifics about the program. Please feel free to reach out to the loan officer that invited you for any additional information.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot for having me. Look forward to helping everyone. Yep.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.